Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Michael Leonetti Show. Unbelievable what I got today. But before I surprise everybody, I want everybody to sit down, relax. Don't you move. Get your coffee ready because I got two guests that I want to introduce to you that are legends of Las Vegas, Nevada. But before I do, I'm always told make sure you subscribe, make sure you like. It's very important to build the channel. Now, everybody knows that I go to 20,000 people every week. This gets shot today and we distribute it tomorrow. Starting January, I increased another 20,000. That's 40,000 people that my television show will go to. These were customers of mine throughout the country that came to my mother's house Italian Supper Club, because you just can't open up a phone book and take phone numbers out and send this show to it. It's against the law. You can't do that. So these were my customers, and I'm very proud to be the number one talk show in Las Vegas. Is nobody could beat me because the quality of people I have is unsurpassed. So let me talk about my sponsors. First of all, Kellogg's Cornflakes. You can't get any bigger than Kellogg's. Bob Kellogg, no one loves you like me. People say, how the hell did you get Kellogg's? He was a customer at my restaurant, flew in twice a year just to hear me sing and eat my food. And we became the best of friends. And it was Bob is the one who said, Mike, you need to do a TV show. I'm behind you. I said, Bobby, I'm ready to rock. And I'm thank you for that. So Bob Kellogg's is great. We also have Alien Tequila, George Harris, one of the best of tequila. I don't drink. I'm not a drinker. But if you're a tequila lover, you will go out of your mind for that tequila. He's going to be on the second half of the show, so don't you move, because he's going to tell you all about how it started, so forth and so on. Also want to say Susie Trump's ministry. Susie Trump's a very special young lady, trumpet player, does great, and she has a ministry for God. She always wants to do something. She was a calling in her heart. It was a calling, and she said, Michael, let me go on your television show. I don't charge nothing, so I want people to call me. If I can help them in any way spiritually, I'm there to play my trumpet and my drums and my guitar and all the other stuff that she does, which is very, very exciting. And let's not forget my book. Everybody know I wrote a book called Deceit, Corruption, and Cover-Up. You know, what Satan took from me, the Lord gave it to me back, you know, because I've been in Vegas 50 years. So don't forget to buy that book. And all the money goes to the St. Jude's Children's Hospital. All that money that I make, I don't take it. It goes to them kids, okay, which I'm very proud of. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's my little dialogue. I got a gentleman that's on my show today with his son that is a true legend in Las Vegas, Nevada. I brought some powerful people into the show. Jim Marsh, Joe Brown. The list is endless. These are guys that dug with their hands the dirt of Las Vegas and made what this town is. Okay? And when they're long gone, hopefully there'll be a book or there'll be a movie about the gentleman that I'm going to introduce you to, because he was the cornerstone of Las Vegas. When Benjamin Siegel came to Las Vegas and seen a vision, and Benny Binion came to see and seen a vision, and a lot of other those old-time guys that believed in this town, and they came on the horse, and they pulled up in front of their casino, and they put not their Rolls Royce, but their horse was in front of their casino. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure and honor from the bottom of my heart to introduce two phenomenal guys, the Doumani boys. This is Mr. Fred Doumani to the right of me, and his son, Mr. Fred Doumani Jr. Gentlemen, thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you for asking me.
Thank you for having us.
You're kidding? Listen, it's an honor. We're going to talk about this town. And it's amazing. I came to Vegas in 1972. I had a hit record. And the rest was history. But when you were here, Mr. Doumani, I mean, you are, you know, when people say, how did this town get built? People watch movies. You are here. This guy is a legend. You were the owner of the Tropicana Hotel. Is there other places that you had your fingers in?
Well, my first strip here was in 1954, and there wasn't one high-rise on the strip. They were building the first one, the Riviera, which opened in April of 1955. My dad bought the land next to the Riviera, and we built the La Concha Motel, which opened Labor Day weekend of 1961. And the La Concha Motel, the lobby, it's since been knocked down, but the lobby was moved to the Neon Museum, and that is the lobby now. When you go to the Neon Museum, you go through that lobby with the three big shells in the front.
Was there other hotels that you had?
Well, there were no corporations allowed to own hotels back then. So what you did, you bought points in a hotel. And I was one of the owners of the Frontier Hotel. And my family, we were the second largest stockholders in the Golden Nugget when Steve Wynn had it. And the Tropicana. We bought that in 1974.
Wow. You know, I played the lounge at the Tropicana Hotel because I played all the lounges in Las Vegas, you know. And when I was young and I had all my hair, you know what I mean? But time takes a toll. So I had a choice, hair or teeth. I went for the choppers. So it was easy because I got a better smile. So I'd rather spend the money for the choppers. You know, Mr. Doumani, I got to tell you, we talked about Benny Binion. You knew Benny Binion.
Yes, yes.
And tell me about, those days. The people that are watching, you know, what's the difference between then and now?
Night and day. It's everything's different. Benny Binion was a great operator, a great person, and your limit, he'd take any bet. If you wanted to put $1 million in bet, he'd take the bet.
He'll take the bet.
Yeah, that's why every big gambler went to the Horseshoe. And he was a phenomenal person, very smart. And the Horseshoe was one of the great places of Las Vegas.
Yeah, I used to go there. I played the Fremont, the Mint Hotel. Those days, they had the lounges. In those days, you had Louis Prima, you had Sam Butera, you had the Treniers, you had the Vagabonds, the Goofers, the Jesters. You had great acts. People ask me, they're going to ask me, how the heck did you know Mr. Doumani? When I was singing at this major place up on the Strip, they would come on Sunday to hear me sing. And he said, man, you remind me of Louis Prima, that kind of music. And naturally, Mr. Doumani, he's from that era that I perform at, and I became very friendly with him. And like I said, it's such a great honor. Now, next to me, we're going to get back to you, is his son. People say, well, what's the connection here? Because you must run the properties. You must be the overseer now of what Dad has built. Am I correct?
In part, yes. My brother and myself.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you ever do any acting?
I did a little bit of acting in the early 90s on a couple little movies and
Did you?
Days of Our Lives for just a few episodes.
It was
fun.
If I had to come back to look like anybody, I would like to look like Cary Grant. If I had to come back, but when I seen him, I was with my wife. I said, "Look how handsome this guy's got that." If I was a director, I would doing like a Roman movie, like a gladiator, like Chariots of the Gladiator. You know what I mean? Which is really great. And, and it's so much wonderful to have people like yourself to come on the show, because like I said, this stays in cyberspace for years. When we're long gone, our grandchildren and great-grandchildren will pull that up, because I was at the Riviera, and it's live from the Riviera Hotel. That was 35 years ago. So if you went on YouTube and put in Michael Leonetti at the Riviera, you'll see this show. I was the only one who was allowed at the lounge to produce that show and videotape, because they never allowed that, you know that. But for me, they did it, which I'm so pleased, because I was a part of what Las Vegas was. If you came back, if we can go back 30 years and you got a piece of something again, what would you change? You would walk into a hotel, Mr. Doumani. What would you change into that hotel? What would you do different?
Well, I always liked the hotel. You should be able to enter it right from Las Vegas Boulevard. Drive up, give your card to the valet, and walk right into the hotel. And that to me is a resort. The dunes, the Desert Inn, the Sands, the Riviera, the Frontier, they're all gone. And now it's huge. They're like a big city, 4 or 5 different entrances. It's the hotels now are so big, they really can't give the personal service the way it used to be. We used to have a couple hundred rooms. When I bought the Tropicana, it had a little over 500 rooms. And you knew everybody, you knew your old customers, and now you have hotels that are 4,000 rooms. That's 8,000 people, to a room, and it's like a city. There are towns that don't have 8,000 people, so you can't give the personal service. And Las Vegas used to be really for entertainment. You couldn't beat it. The lounge acts, like you said, Louis Prima, Freddie Bell, Sonny King. You had great lounge at the Riviera. They had Pete Fountain, Al Hurt, Harry Owens and the Royal Hawaiians. It was great. Just sit down, have a drink. It was, and then in the main showrooms, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Eleanor Powell. I mean, there were every top star.
K-Star, all of them were. They all were here.
All of them there.
See, I caught the tail end. I came in '72, so I was the tail end. Everybody was alive then. Sammy Davis and Frank Sinatra, all them guys were alive. And I always told the story when I had my hit record. They stuck me at the Mint Hotel, and I tell this on stage when I'm performing. And they said, Mr. Leonetti, they said, your dressing room is down to the right. Now, you got to remember, ladies and gentlemen, I was just a kid. I was from Philadelphia, South Philly. I was connected with the right people, so they stuck me in the lounge. And I opened up the door. They had the cutest little stove you've ever seen. And I got so depressed, me being Italian, I called my grandmother in Philadelphia. And in Italian, I was telling her, I want to come home. I don't want to stay. She says, Michael, you got to hit records. Stay there. You're going to be okay. What did I teach you? Well, you want happy? Eat a dish of macaroni. Make you feel better. So I go to the store. It was a place called Skaggs Alpha Beta. Remember Skaggs Alpha Beta? Yeah. I mean, that's way before Smith's and Albertsons. So I go to the store. I buy tomato garlic. In the dressing room, I decided to cook. Now, remember, to the people that came to my show, this is part of my act because I tell this story on stage. And I made a little macaroni. I just put the pasta on the table, and I hear a knock on the door. I said, what could it possibly be? I don't know nobody here. I was in my early 20s. When I opened up that door, it was Sinatra. He looked at me. He said, hey, kid, what are you doing? I said, I'm making a dish of macaroni. You hungry? He said, what'd you say to me? I said, I just put the pasta on the table. I'm a dish of macaroni. He said, wait a minute. He said, you're that kid with the hit record. I said, you're right. I said, come on, sit down. The guy was amazed that I talked to him like I'm talking to you. So he sits down, eats the macaroni, he looks at me, he goes, Maroni, he said, the food's great. He said, where's the phone? I said, I think it's in the corner. So he walks over there. You got to remember, folks, this is Sinatra. He said, this is Mr. Sinatra. Give me Dean Martin's room. He said, Dean, do me a favor. I'm in the dressing room just for a minute. I want you to meet this kid. He cooks like my mother. The rest was history. Now, through him, I was connected and cooked for Jasper at the Tower of Pizza, Gus Gallows, Chateau Vegas, in between shows, Now, remember, I was never no big star. I did the lounges, and naturally the years went by, and time went on, and before you know it, I looked in the mirror and I'm 73 years old. But I'm so glad that God gave me the power and that still have the voice and the drumming and the attitude, because like I said, everybody knows I wrote a book. What Satan took away from me, the Lord gave me back, just to have my health. With all respect, how old are you, Mr. Doumani?
I'm 89. I'll be 90 in April. 90
years old. I hope, through the grace of God, when I reach your age, that I'm still around. You know what I'm trying to say to you? And God gives me the power, because, I always say we're on third base. We're all on, not you. You're on second base, but we're on third base. You're a young kid. I didn't mean to say kid, but we're on third base. We're on our way home. So I said to my wife, well, what have I got left? If a guy gives me another 5 years, as long as I can still punch and knock you out within 2-3 rounds, I got a shot. So I'm still working on some major hotels to bring my show back and do the same thing. And if it's in God's hands to do it, I'll do it. In the meantime, what this show has done for so many people, and for me to be just so, just so elated to have Mr. Doumani on my show and his son. What is your future? What is your future, Mr. Doumani Jr.?
My future as far as business?
Business, yeah. What do you want to do?
I'm looking at developing a few projects. I missed the last surge in Vegas. I didn't think it was going to happen when COVID happened. I was looking at developing apartments, and real estate seemed overpriced to me. And now those prices 4 years ago were a base bargain price, so I missed that. I'm working on a couple projects now.
Well, that's great because, like I say, to follow in your dad's footsteps, which is powerful. I mean, super, super powerful. A lot of people did it. Sinatra's son did it. Did his best, to follow the footsteps of his father, and knowing your dad and your mom. I got to mention mom. We went to her show. She's still as lovely and as elegant when she came out, and all the girls from the shows. My wife started to cry, because it was very, very touching, very, very touching. It's so nice because, like I said, we're the last of what this town is, and if it ain't people like you, I'm going to say you, and other entrepreneurial people that want to come in. If you can develop the spirit, the heart, the feeling of what Mr. Doumani could, what he's seen, the future he's seen, it will take Las Vegas to another level. I don't want to mention the name, but I had a meeting with a hotel. The people walked in, the entertainment department. They were kids. They were in their 30s. I said, Louis Prima. They went, who? I said, you never heard of Louis Prima? I said, how about Sinatra? Yeah, I think I know who he is. They didn't understand the concept because the people that are gaming are still our age people. Go to any casino, they're not 21 years old that are hitting those slot machines. I don't know if you ever took the demographic of some of the hotels that are around here. I do when I walk into a place.
Oh, true.
There are people from the ages of 55 and 60, and they got rock music that these people do not connect to.
Right.
You understand? They don't connect to it. Because when I went to go see Louis Prima at the lounge at the Sahara, as soon as you walked in, you mentioned Sonny King. He was at Vito Musso at the Frontier.
Right.
And I'd hit that front door, and man, he'd be playing, and when I would walk in, the feeling that I got was just so magnificent. But as time went on, they changed it. We don't want no more lounges. Now you go in, you got one guy with a guitar doing karaoke. That's not Las Vegas, ladies and gentlemen. That's not Las Vegas. Well, I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there's no words to say thank you to two tremendous, unbelievable giants of our business. You got yesteryear and you got today, okay? Two powerful men that have a vision that is unsurpassed by millions of people. So I just want to thank the both of you for coming on my show, Mr. D.
Thank you.
I'll see you. I'll see you Monday at your house. Mr. Doumani, it was always a pleasure.
It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have been great. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Anthony. WeLink Internet, home of the fiber optic speeds. Is your internet slow? Is your bills outrageous? Well, look no further. WeLink Internet has everything you need. The fastest speeds, the best customer service, and top-notch internet speeds. Give us a call now. We can get you 30 days absolutely free. We'll get you installed for free. And we'll also give you all the equipment to make your system run smooth and fast. Give us a call today, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Hi, everybody, and we're back. Boy, what a show so far. Guess what? We didn't even start yet. I have a gentleman that I'd like to introduce to you. Very dear friend of mine, a genius, a man that's got great charisma, known many, 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 many years. So I want to introduce you to one of our major sponsors. I always talk about Alien Tequila. All the time we talk about Alien Tequila. Well, guess what? Say hello to Mr. George Harris, everybody, with Alien Tequila. Thanks, George,
Mike,
for coming,
thanks for
buddy.
having me, friend. I appreciate you. It's
my
so good
pleasure,
to see
boy.
you.
Let me tell you something. You know, people say to me, because I always go to television, and I say, I don't drink, which I really don't. But if you're a tequila lover, it's the best you've ever tasted. What made you come up with that idea, and how did it start? And tell my viewers.
Well, it's a great story because I was in the military for 21 years and I worked in psychological operations, and I had a great gig. I worked in paranormal activities, so aliens, remote viewing, all that stuff was in. And when I left the military, I just extrapolated that out. I wanted to do something I liked. I wanted to have fun with life. Because, you know, I stood in lines my whole life in the military. That's all you do is you wait, you know, you rush to wait. And I said, if I'm doing something, I want to do something well. So I always liked aliens, so I figured I would do aliens. Now, are there aliens? Yes, but that's a whole nother show. So I got into this thought process of I want to do an alien research center. And I went to the legislature, and I worked in the legislature as a lobbyist, and then there was an opportunity to rename Highway 375 to the extraterrestrial highway. And an assemblywoman said she would carry the bill, and Bill Raggio at the time, who was the leader of the Senate, said, well, we're going to have this guy that's a citizen lobbyist, we're going to have him carry the bill. And the guy went to carry the bill, and there was a Senator, Bill O'Donnell, who said, oh, no, I talked to the commander of Nellis Air Force Base. They do not want this. And it was all nonsense, and we knew it was nonsense. And so the bill got forward, and it got put in his drawer, and he would never let it out of his drawer. And then towards the end of the legislature, he got the flu desperately and ended up in the hospital in Lake Tahoe, Nevada. So Bill Raggio in the Commerce Committee pulled the bill out and made it a because it was in transportation. They made the bill a bill for tourism. So they passed the bill, and poof, now we have the extraterrestrial highway. I happen to own a couple of acres up on the extraterrestrial highway, and I put an alien research center up there, and the rest is history. So I got into really what I like. And one day I was sitting up there, and I always liked tequila, and I said, I'm going to grow agave up here. I'm going to do all this. And I started doing all this research, and I'm going to have my own tequila. And then I found out tequila is like champagne.
Right.
It can only come from 5 states in
Right.
Mexico. You can't have the Weber Blue agave up here because it's a proprietary plant down there. So I went and called my uncle, and I said, Theo, I want tequila. My uncle is Johnny Glass. It's Juan Vidrio is his name, and he's a phenomenally famous tequila maker. And he said, no, I'm not doing it. He goes, at the time he was 77 years old. And he said, I'm not doing it. And I goes, Theo, you got to do this for me. He said, no. And I haunted him for almost 2 years, and finally he said, stop, I'll do it. And he made some very famous tequilas. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but my tequila is probably it is, in my opinion, the best small batch tequila in the world. And, you know, the marketing's great. There's an abduction in every bottle. After 2 shots, you'll be seeing stars.
Okay.
It goes on. And the great thing is everybody said, every major distributor said I wouldn't make it more than 6 months to a year. And that's been now 20 years ago. And it's because 70% of the people on the planet believe in aliens.
Well, I got to tell you something, and especially for my viewers, they ask me all the time, the bottle's magnificent. I mean, it's the most incredible looking bottle. I say I don't drink, but if I go to like Lee's, and your place is at Lee's, right? They can pick it up at Lee's. Where are the
Lee's, Liquor World. There's a Exo. There's it's in tons of restaurants. Tons of locations.
And when I go into a place, and my wife and I, she likes the Kahlua and stuff like that, and I'm fascinated with the bottles. And when I picked up this alien tequila, you know what I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you something. It's something that you would not want to throw into trash. How many people like if I get tequila, if I drink a drink or something, my wife has something, we throw it away, the bottle, get rid of it. This is something that you would not want to throw away, because who gave you that idea with the bottle? I mean, what was it?
Listen. The fact of the matter is we were driving in Mexico City, and we were driving down the highway, and I looked, and on the side of the freeway, on one of the walls, was a graffiti of an alien head, and I took a picture of that, and then I drew it out on a napkin, and then I took it up. Brought it back here, and I needed something, and I went to my buddy Dominic Ruex, and I showed him this thing on the napkin, and he said, "Yeah, I can carve that out for you." And he carved me the wooden bottle, and then we took the bottle back down to the mold maker, and they made a mold, and the rest is history. Now, if you go Google alien tequila bottle, there's people selling the empty bottles for $10 to $100 a piece.
No kidding.
Oh, it's amazing. Some of the bottles sell empty for more than they sell with the juice in them.
Now, because I also noticed that Lee's, they have the little bottle.
They have the Chiquita bottle, little 50 millimeter,
right.
375 and 750.
They're cute. They're adorable. You see these little bottles because people, and I'm so proud. I was telling George, we reached 20,000 people. These are my customers. Because I said to you last week, ladies and gentlemen, you can't open up a phone book and I send my television show to people. It's against the law. You can't do it. These were customers of mine through the 7 years that I was at my mother's house. I accumulated over 100,000 phone numbers. So these are 20,000. Starting January, I increased another 20,000. So that's 40,000 people that this show goes to each week, which I pay for. And it goes to a text. And when you start texting something, it's a whole different ballgame. It costs a lot of money. And I would tell everybody the same thing. I don't drink, but the tequila is incredible. And I was so impressed when I walked through the Lee's and I would pick that bottle up. Everybody would stop me and say, "Oh, look at that." If you don't know it, and I'll say this again, not because he's my friend, I'm telling you something. I asked other people. Best tequila, smooth, unbelievable, I got to tell you something, and I'm so happy. Maybe I can twist his arm to come in and advertise because he's here to the end of the year. Maybe I can get him for another year. It's pretty tough to get hope in his wallet. Got a lot of money, but last time he opened it up, moths came out of that wallet.
Well, that's the one I show everybody. Say there's nothing here.
Yeah, of
Look,
course.
if I had your money though,
I got no money.
I would burn mine.
Would you?
Wait a minute. You can't burn copper.
Oh, that's pretty good. I like that. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see behind me, we got the Christmas trees, and I want everyone to know, and I don't want to embarrass my friend, but he was here early this morning decorating all putting the Christmas balls on and all kinds of stuff.
You can see one of the little alien tequila bottles right there. There it is.
Is that beautiful? Unreal. George is coming to my home this Sunday for dinner. Great honor to have him because he's a very special friend. The first thing he said to me, "What are you cooking?" He said, "What are you cooking?"
I want to know. I don't want to. So I got to tell you something.
Go ahead.
So Mike is a phenomenal chef, and we used to go to his restaurant, and I brought my cousin up from Mexico, Erica. And Erica came up to you and whispered in your ear, and you said, "Yeah, Mike never lets anybody sing. He never lets one person sing." And for some reason, he let my cousin sing. Do you remember when you let Erica sing? Mm-hmm. And he stopped her and he said, "I've never heard a voice so beautiful." Yeah. And she was a very accomplished singer in Mexico City, and at one point was a star, and she wanted to have a family. Traditional Mexican woman wanted to have a family. She just quit and gave everything up.
Well, a lot of people do that. I got to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, that's out there. When I perform, especially at my restaurant, the other place on the Strip where I played, George always wanted to get up and do a song, and so he's full of SHI, okay? Because I do let some people sing if they could sing. A lot of people can't sing, and when they get up, they don't know their keys, but George gets up, and I got to tell you, he knocks it out of the park because he does a great job. And I'm so proud to say that I'm in negotiations with 2 major hotels to put my show back in a major place because, as everybody knows, I'm affiliated with 5 major timesharing organizations. Just got the tickets.
I think you should let me do your negotiating. That's where everything falls apart.
Really?
Yeah. Now it is true, and he's not lying to you. There's a lot of people that say that there's people that consider me the modern day Frank Sinatra. I don't know why.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
But I do have a good voice, and we do have fun, and you've
Right.
got a phenomenal band, and you were phenomenal, and you've always been phenomenal. I love you. You're a good guy. I'd like to see you. I'd like to see you in a location where everybody could come see you. Because see, there's no old school Vegas music anymore. That's the problem.
You're right.
I mean, you can go to Laurie Hunt's place, you know, but it's okay, you know, and once in a while, once in a great while, you get to see Clint Holmes, and it's okay. But there needs to be a consistent, like every Friday, Saturday, you can go see old school music, and not with food. Just do tapas. You know, because that's where I think that's where the train comes off the tracks, right? Is when you're doing food, because then you have to work with a restaurant, you know, and some of these guys, look, you know, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You've got to be able to have local people. And the thing is no one wants to hear this. All of us locals really love the Strip, but we don't go down to the Strip anymore. Not that we don't want to go down there and have fun. It takes you an hour to get down there.
Right.
You can't drink because you got to drive home. I want you to find a place somewhere up in Summerlin that you're the band, you do the thing, and let the restaurateur be the restaurateur. But it's got to be the right price.
Well, the money, yeah, of course. Food-wise, because it ain't just the food. And George, like I said, was at my restaurant multi times. I mean, no, I can't count the times. But you got to remember, folks, I was the chef. I owned the place. I watched everything that went on. I was in control. If there was any problems, the only guy that can blame is myself. Where other places I got to fight with them. You're not doing this right. It's too much money. Let me ask you a question, my dearest friend. Is it Pops? Is it Cocoa Krispies, Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops? Because in the camera, Bob Kellogg is my major sponsor. Which one would it be if you had one to take home with you?
Oh, it's definitely. First of all, Bob Kellogg's a great guy. Secondly, the only thing that Kellogg's ever did right was Cocoa Krispies.
Really? All right. Actually, if I said that, he would have. He took me off the air. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain.
Oh no! This is magic right here.
That's
pal.
magic.
This is magic.
Put some tequila.
You put tequila in this, and you'll take a trip you won't soon forget.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
tequila and crispy cocoa.
Now you're talking. I can't thank you enough for watching the show. We're coming to the end of the year. I'm so proud. I'm so honored that I have an opportunity to be the most watched podcast in Las Vegas. The quality of people that I bring on this show is unbelievable, especially for Mr. Harris to take time out of his day to come down here and talk to you. But I wanted everybody to know, who's this George Harris? Who's this CEO? Who's the guy that created this? And that's why I have him. So I say this all the time at the end of my show. A friend of mine once said to me, he said, Mike, if your heart's not right, you can never receive anything. And I said to him, what do you mean by that? He said, your heart has to be right for forgiveness, understanding, love. If you don't have those qualities, you're in some serious trouble. Because at this time, this world that we're living in, it's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. So, ladies and gentlemen, next week, I got a whole brand new show. You're going to love this. We're going to do in fact, I'm bringing my wife and my brother, my family, to talk about what we did for the year, what we got planned for next year. We got all January customers already sold out, my guests coming in. And I want everybody to know that the people that I had, you're welcome to come back. And I want to thank all of you wonderful people for watching me every week that I send the text to. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You've been great. God bless you, and I will see you next week. Thank you.
Are you looking to increase your business? Are you looking to take your business or organization to the next level? Well, look no further. The Michael Leonetti Variety Show has everything you need to become a great success. Contact us now to get all the information you need to take your business to the next level.